Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is set for one episode. Your hosts from Columbus, Ohio and Westfield, Massachusetts are Michael Kirk and Nathan Wagner. Welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast. Hello and welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast, your digital audio dirt sheet for all things Super Show. Good afternoon.
Hey, Mike, and hello to our listeners.
Thanks for coming on the show. If you've checked out episode 39 already, this is episode 40. You'll notice that Nate was not there. Nate had a little, I don't know how much you want. You're free to talk about as much as you want, but
I had some mishap with my ankle, so I got it taken care of as much as I can.
Nate's playing through the pain today, so please, thank you, Nate, for doing that. I know you don't.
Yeah, I didn't want to miss a week, so I'm just, my apologies to Ant and David. I wish I could have been there to talk with you guys, but I'm glad you guys were on the show, and I'm sure it was an awesome interview. I'm looking forward to listening to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We would pretty much deep dive into next week's Downriver Beatdown that Downriver Championship Wrestling's putting on at our house games in Monroe, Michigan, July 13th, 1 p.m. start time. You will need to fill out a deck list, but that's all the plug I'm going to go into that, except at the end. For more information on that, please check out episode 39. We will, however, discuss the cards that they spoiled.
I'm interested in talking about those.
So that's pretty much the big news that this week.
Talk of the Universe.
Yeah, go ahead.
They mentioned the online tournament for the arena. It's going to be pretty interesting. A lot of laundry list of requirements that you have to jump through to be a participant in that, it seems.
Yeah, that's right. As we record this, and now anybody is able to sign up. It was going to be subs only, subscribers to the Twitch channel only until noon Sunday, which is today.
I wonder how many subs signed up.
I don't know. I may throw my hat in the ring. I don't know.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, I don't know if I've got the setup visually, but I can try it out.
I don't know. As far as I know, they haven't released the list of the require. I know you have to have a certain internet speed, I believe. You have to have a certain resolution camera, and I couldn't imagine the camera has to be anything too special because the Logitech C720 that I got from Walmart was $20, and that's a 720p camera. So, I mean, if you need anything more than that, then I don't see it being worth participating in the tournament.
Yeah, I've got a Microsoft little plug-in cam that I've been using. I mean, you've seen it. You know what it looks like.
Yeah, my point, though, is if you have to go out and purchase something that's more than $20 to play online, for a tournament you may lose in first round. I mean, yeah, you'll have it for the future for playing other matches, and it's always nice to have a great webcam. But I recommend the $20 C720 from Walmart. It's a great webcam.
Yeah, you can. If for some reason you can't get into the online arena, you can always join the LFF Online League.
Yes, absolutely. That is free.
That's right. And season 2 is starting up
very soon. And we welcome camera phones, laptop camera on your camera, the camera on your laptop, whatever setup you have, as long as your dice remains in front of the your roll stays on the screen. That's all we really care about.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, go to the SRG Discord, and there's a section to sign up for both singles and tornado tag.
Yeah, we are actually on pace to break the record for last season's singles right now. Last I checked, we had 39 entries, including myself and John and Japo Reno and Chris Pagillo.
It's going to be an 8-week season from what I believe I've seen.
Yeah, we toned it down a little bit, and there are we're going to be a lot stricter on. There is going to be no rescheduling. So if you go into this and you sign up for it, please, I'm just going to let you all know right now, please be serious about it. Like, as if you were to sign up for a softball league, you would go to your softball team's weekly games or practices, or if you were in a bowling league, you wouldn't miss bowling night. If you sign up for this league, don't miss this, because if it's just it's not fair to the other player to leave them hanging, and you never really like to hand out a free win. Nobody likes to get a win off of someone not showing up. Everybody wants to play. So that's where I'm at with that. But yeah, I feel like 12 weeks was fun, but it was a little stretched out because then you had to figure there was the playoffs as well. And then there was the dark web tournament, which we're doing halfway through the season as well. And I believe we're going to do a fan vote again for that. And South Bell will be able to be in it and use the title as well. The titles are online digitally. And Bob Huff is going to be, for the winners of the league, I was told we're going to be doing play mats for the champions. I believe you're going to have your name on it. It'll be very... Go ahead.
He's posted an image of the... he's currently got an online play mat for sale. And then I believe there's going to be special ones for the winners.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they're looking forward to the online league. It's going to be a similar format where we're doing the third match will be the rubber match, so to speak, will be a stipulation, or there'll be special guest or what have you. So we got that in the works. That's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited about that because for myself, it's tough with the work schedule to get to every event out there, but also with my location. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the online league starting back up.
Yeah, so am I. So I went ahead and signed up for both. I should be able to make both.
I wanted to do trios, but John doesn't believe that it's going to work. He thinks that there's going to be too many people that are using the same combinations, and it's going to get out of control. I disagreed, but I think trios is with the addition of all these new competitors continuously coming out, I don't see why people wouldn't be making new concoctions of trios.
Well, I can see, after seeing how good double death drop is with twins, I see a lot of TPs being used.
Well, then in that case, you just run the atomic double knee.
That's true. You can run the double.
It would just be as frequent playing that as it would be, seeing people using Tiki Twins. It would just be an auto pack.
Yeah.
It is a generic.
That is true. Yeah, there is atomic double.
Oh, you're not talking about double death drop. Are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about double. The only tag team finisher in the game. That's a generic.
Oh yeah, yep. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. I thought there was a second one, and then I realized I was wrong.
As far as I know, that is the only specific. That is the only one that actually.
Yeah, the atomic double knee stops it.
Yeah, the atomic double knee. Online league. So, question about the dark web tournament, and actually the tournament stuff in general, because obviously, for example, we crowned a tag champ and a singles champ and the dark web champ. So I had a question about the how the title situation is going to work in that. So, let's say I'm the dark web champ. Okay. If I play the dark web belt during, say, week 1, is that belt up for risk at that point?
I would personally say if you put your title, if you want to use that as your entrance card, that is at your own stake. I would say it would be at risk for a loss at that point.
So essentially, the champions don't have to defend their title except when? When would they have to defend it?
We haven't exactly discussed that yet in depth, but I would be as far as I'm concerned, if someone would want to use their title, that would be them at risk of losing their title. And that's fine it's because I would like to see the titles get passed around the community myself.
Well, here's my concern about it. If the title is at risk at any point you play it, then why would you just not play it?
Well, you're going to be forced to play it at some point.
Okay, but otherwise, just if every match I play use my belt as a title match, then
you'd be the best fighting champion out there.
You would be the best fighting champion out there. But if I can extend my reign I can.
I would like to personally see the champions have to defend at least once a month.
Okay, I'm sure that's something you guys will work out. So then, when it comes like the championship tournament, does that mean, for example, let's say because I know off the top of my head, I know South Bell's Dark Web champion. So Dark Web tournament goes through.
She gets an automatic slot because of last year. She obviously was the fan vote and then went all the way to the finals and won it.
Okay,
she gets an automatic slot, and I'm almost certain that we're going to do the same with the champions now as well.
When I say an automatic slot, does that mean she's automatically in the tournament?
Right.
So my follow-up question is going to be then, but it's not like an automatic slot into the finals.
No, I don't think that's what we said that we were doing.
Well, yeah, okay. So
I'm looking up right now because it was just brought up not too long ago.
So the champion. So essentially the tournament's not for the number one contender. It's actually become the champion.
Well, I'm sorry, I was reading something in the group message. What did you say?
So the tournament's not to become the number one contender. It's to become the champion.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
I believe that's how we're doing it. I don't want to give false information, but...
So, for example, let's say the current Dark Web champion, and I'm not picking on South Bell, I'm just using it as an example. Let's say for some reason the time for the tournament comes, and what if, based on her schedule, she can't make it. She can't tournament.
Hold on, I'm reading what was said about it right now. Give me one second.
All right. My question was going to be: you're going to strip the title. Would she then be stripped of it?
No one's getting stripped of their title. Apparently, there wasn't an exact answer here. I will address that with the guys in the chat.
Yeah, because let's say South Bell plays in the tournament, she never puts her belt up.
She would have to, if she's in the tournament, she's going to have to use a title. That's just
okay. All right. Okay. That's the kind of thing I'm.
If she's in the tournament and she loses round one, she's obviously not going to be in the finals anymore. She just lost the title.
Well, but if she didn't put the title up in the first round, she played like champion of Kickstarter.
She wouldn't be in the tournament using anything other than that because she's the champion.
So you would require the champion in the champion tournament to use their belt in every match. Okay, that's fair. All right. I just wondered how that was going to work. So essentially, you could have a championship change hands every round of the tournament.
No, once the champion loses, it's vacant until the finals. No, the belt isn't going to change hands.
Okay,
they'll be eliminated.
So the person who wins, who beats the current champion, does not then become champion.
Correct. Because they would have flip-flops the entire way. And I don't want to have that be the case. I don't even know, honestly, right now, like, if we're going to say that these titles are going to be defended. I don't know if maybe we're going to do once a season and then you're the champion of that season. We haven't really went in depth about how the title situation is going to work right now. I just know we have 3 champions, and they're from season 1, and they all played extremely well. The title situation is a hairy situation right now. So.
Okay, I just wanted to check. Just was curious how that would work. Again, not picking on South Bell. She just.
And as I said, season 1 was a work in progress. So season 2, I mean, we're still trying to iron out and get things right. We trimmed it down to 8 weeks, and we're doing 2 formats still. We're not adding a 3rd format. And there's going to be a rotating schedule now, too. So the week starts on Monday. The next week will start on Tuesday. Next week will start on Thursday. So on and so forth.
So talked about Downriver, talked about the next season, the online arena, which apparently will have Underworld Championship implications, whatever that.
Which is nice, because for a long time the general consensus from the SRG higher-ups was online play and accolades didn't mean anything as far as real-life play. So now you can go 12-0 and brag about it, or 8-0 now in a regular season, and talk about your online accolades, and it'll mean something.
All right.
You don't remember anybody ever saying or not to name anybody in particular, but Calais saying that online implications or whatever you did online is irrelevant to real life play.
No, I remember that happening.
Yeah, so it's just nice, to have the online aspect of this game get recognized, regardless of whether it's the online arena, the league, just people casually playing. It's nice to see that that's actually being recognized now, and as an aspect of this game, and not just people showing up and playing in a store. I think that's a step forward for this game.
Well, yeah, congratulations to all the people behind the online play. You, John Polverino, Chris Pagillo,
And
Jen
Jen
and
yeah, exactly. It's really great for the community as a whole.
Yeah, we're glad we've been able to sort of break. You guys have been able to break through that barrier. You've been able to earn. You've been able to earn the GM, catch the GM's eye and earn his favor,
so to speak. It's. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I don't even know what I was going to say.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so
it was an empty thought.
All right, so speaking of the GM, I don't know if you saw where the GM posted that talking about John Calais, the LFF GM, about wanting all the local GMs to call him.
Yeah, I'm curious about what that was about.
Okay, little. Let me give you a report. My sources. This is from my sources, unnamed sources, anonymous sources. So apparently, there is going to be an attempt to coordinate a day of Super Show, where essentially all the local play groups would have an event on the same day.
In their own respective areas?
In their own respective areas.
Okay, so it wouldn't be like a grand gathering then?
No, so it'd be like on, let's say, the second Saturday in September.
Yep. And
Buckeye would have run something, and Rust Belt would run something.
That's going to be very challenging to coordinate. So my next question is right away, like, what are the implications of this?
I have no idea.
So that's going to be cool. It's the SRG Go Play Day.
Yeah, apparently that will be announced. I'm spoiling it now because according to my sources, it will be announced later today. So while I'm breaking news to you, the community will actually hear it first.
That's cool.
From the official sources, but just let you know, we get the scoops. We get the scoops on the only unofficial podcast, formerly official.
A one-time official podcast.
For like 4 or 5 days.
Did you guys talk about on episode 39 the create a card contest?
We talked about that. We talked a little about the create a card contest. Actually, you know what? We talked about it after the show because I gave them one of my ideas. We didn't actually get to it during the show, but yeah.
I really think the game needs a follow-up version of Call to the Crowd. In the 16th, or I'm sorry, in the 17th slot. Yeah. So it would do the same thing as Call to the Crowd, except it would just be a follow-up. So you could essentially go follow-up and then into a finish in one turn, rather than go lead into a follow-up.
Well, now you can actually, but wouldn't that let you lead into a follow-up into a finish?
Yeah, I guess you could. I mean, there are certain competitors who could do it, given the right gimmick. Like, I mean, Merlin von Berlin could do it.
Yeah, we talked about that's one thing I think we talked about on the show because we talked about EC3 because we talked about their ban list.
Oh, that's right. There's a ban list for the
ban list.
That seems kind of I don't like that. I'm sorry, I don't.
I understand all the arguments about aerial lipstick being a negative play experience. I get that because it can basically create games that just incredibly lopsided. One player's pretty much out of it.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Anthony told a story about playing at the Grand Gathering where basically first turn roll he lost his whole hand.
Yeah, it happens. They roll power.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, because he rolled it because he was playing Earthquake with who had Ariel and Sean Spears.
Mm-hmm.
Ariel rolled a 10 and Ariel rolled a 5 and Anthony rolled a 10.
Yeah.
So he lost. So he had to bury two from Ariel and then one from Sean Spears.
Yeah.
And he says like I sat there for like 20 minutes doing nothing. So yeah, I totally understand that because like I said on that same show, I played a tag team with Ariel and Witch Hunter. Same.
Well, I do still think that it would be interesting to add, a call to the crowd, and I also still am in favor of adding a submission version of Schoolboy. I think that would be really cool, like a bridging pin.
I've come up. I had a concept for because I'm surprised we don't have this in the game, and I won't go into depth. A couple of the ideas I had, another kind of version of Schoolboy, but a little different. Just a different kind of pin. And I came up with a couple of spectacles. I think that would be interesting.
What is this version of Schoolboy?
Okay, I'll go ahead and spoil it. I haven't submitted it yet. Basically, it'd be a small package.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be a small package, and then the text would be similar to the Schoolboy and backside, but just a little.
That's how I feel about the submission one that I want to do, because I saw Zack Sabre Jr. months back do this pin where he started doing a figure four like leg lock, but then he ended up doing a back bend over the person, so it was literally a figure four but in a pin because he arched over them like in a back bend doing the figure four and got the 1-2-3.
That's pretty cool.
It was.
Yeah.
And that could work with certain competitors. I mean, obviously, right now Salty Sailor can get back the Schoolboy or backslide just by rolling grapple. The same thing could be done now with Zack Sabre if that kind of card came into play. He could pick it up out of his discard pile, or
Gargano could.
Gargano could. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's other cards as well that could help you, get it back, like Eye Rake. You could take a submission from your discard pile and put it on top of your deck.
You could always crossbow for it if you want to.
Yeah.
They're different. There are plenty of methods. King Greatness of course has that. He has that. I still like that game.
So what were the cards that were spoiled from the Downriver?
So let's talk. So 3 of them had already come out, and we'll talk about the one that the Bryn. So let's talk about. We'll talk about the finished submission first.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go and give a little spoiling out. Except for their one entrance card, they're all finishes. They're all generic finishes.
Yep.
Okay, so the first one's a Downriver Lock. This is the one that I think it came out first. Finished submission. It's +1 to technique, +3 to your lowest skill. Add 1 card from your discard pile to your hand. It's a skill card. You need an 8 technique skill or greater.
Yeah, she pointed that out to me earlier. I was talking about. I thought it had the submission requirement for it.
Yeah, because you as a Lemmy Atom player, your eyes are really big.
Yeah, that was gonna have a bunch of 9s.
Well, maybe someday they'll make a technique version. I don't think. Well,
no, I wouldn't be able to play it with technique. I'd have to.
Well, no, I'm sorry. They make a submission skill, but a technique.
Yeah, bonus.
Bonus, yeah. Which they've done that before. They've made cards where they basically have 2 different skill requirements, but all the text is the same. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it'll be ridiculously good for.
So I like that card. I think like any card like that, like Jackknife Powerbomb, the Frog Splash, Sheep Shooter. Those are all great cards. Anything that gives you +3 to your botch is fantastic, and there's so many combinations with that too. Because say your technique, for example, at the Downriver Lock, say your technique is a 5, you bump it to a 6. Now you got 2 6s, so 6 would be your lowest skill. So now you're going to end up with 3 9s on the card.
Well, but again, remember your technique has to be great.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For this example, I guess. Yeah. Sure. But like I said, those cards are great because you're adding +3 to your low skill. So, when I played King Pink, I used Jackknife Powerbomb because it added +3 to my low skill and it made my power an 11.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially because since he only has the strike finish right now, You have to play 2 generics. That's a great generic to play with.
I'm actually, rooting off topic for the Three Kings to beat the SRG Universe at Gen Con so they can get more finishes commissioned.
Yeah, because as of right now, they only have the one each. King Greatness and King Cold, I believe, won the tag to get a second finish at the Grand Gathering. So if they're able to win this, that'll basically everyone will have 3. What will be really great is if they can get some trios finishes for the Three Kings card.
That would be cool, yeah.
That would be awesome.
So King Cold and Greatness would have 3 finishes, but if they win this, that'll give King Pink a second finish, or will he get 2 finishes from this?
So what my understanding is this. Right, there's currently 1 finish each. Because of their win in the tag at the Grand Gathering, King Greatness and King Cold each will get an addition, are already guaranteed, no matter the result of this match, to get a second finish each. Yep. But if the 3 Kings win, I believe the challenge has been accepted. If the 3 Kings win at Gen Con, then they'll each have 3. They'll each have a full set.
Well, I'm really hoping they do. The more finishers, the better. And I'd like to see those guys have full sets.
I'd love to see what a King Pink submission would be. I'd love to see just...
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. All right, so this card,
the second one.
This card gets a +1, gets an A+ from both of us, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, so this next card, the image right now that it's out has the title as Super Flying Face Drop Out of Nowhere.
I haven't seen the image for that.
It's the image. It's basically a flying cutter performed on aerial lipstick. Aerial lipstick taking a flying cutter.
Okay.
I think the competitor giving it looks like Snake Pit, although from what they were telling me, it's supposed to be Night Terror. I don't know.
All right.
I have not looked at a picture of Night Terror.
I could see Night Terror being the person to do that, just because he blanks her gimmick, and that's the best way to shut her up.
Yeah, they told me basically that a lot of their finishers are based on the idea if they want to basically deliver moves to people they don't like.
That's
competitors they don't like. So although that didn't really happen with the Downriver Lock. So here's the text. The text of these card is the same as Super Kick Over the Top. When the crowd meter is 4 or greater, this card is also a follower. And I want to talk to you about this because and I talked to them about this too because there's a little bit of controversy about it. Because while the original text is Super Flying Face Drop Out of Nowhere, apparently the flying has been taken out of the name.
So it's just Super Face Drop?
Yeah.
Super. I don't know, why would they take the flying out of it?
Now, first off, I don't like it because I think the name of Super Flying Face Drop is better than Face Drop. But apparently the reason that we talked about was they think there's going to be a balance issue with Smiley and Venus.
Okay, I could see that.
I don't see it at all. And I'll tell you why. Okay? So, for those of you who did not hear the last show, the gimmick for Smiley, this is the same gimmick on the regular Smiley and on the flipped part of Flip Smiley. It's when you roll agility for your turn roll, you search your deck or discard pile for a card with the words flying or top rope in the name, and you put that on top of your deck.
Yeah, well, you could get, and this could be played as a follow-up. So I mean,
right.
He could end up spamming this, though. It doesn't matter, crowd meter 4 or not.
At crowd meter 4. I just think at crowd meter 4, I mean, it's a blank finish at crowd meter 4. I mean, I guess technically you're getting +4.
Yeah, and you can play it again. Like, say you play it, break out, then you roll 10, get it back, play it again, call to the crowd into that. Like,
I mean, you've already. I mean, I guess so. Maybe that's why. I mean, it's blank for four crowd meters. A crowd meter 0, 1, 2, and 3.
Well, there's ways to have it not be blank. This is the grapple, right?
Right.
So you could end up playing, set up a table, and then you could also play the card table. That gives you a couple of bonuses there, permitting you roll grapple so that the table card interacts with it. But
I guess that's true to do a lot of setup. But I mean, okay, but I mean, is this better than playing, say, top rope superplex with Smiley?
no, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, that was my issue with the Smiley. Is like I don't know that I would put this in there instead of top rope superplex. And then the other issue is
The thing is, though, there's people, they want to make it so that there's cards that get used. They want to see people be able to use different cards. They don't want just one card being the same in every slot.
well, actually, but then I would argue I would leave flying in there so you would see a Smiley or a Venus play.
Yeah.
Taking flying out makes it less likely to be played, not more likely.
You're right, yeah.
And then Venus, for those of you who don't know, her gimmick is when you roll agility for your turn roll, your cards with a flying in the name cannot be stopped. Which, okay, this is an unstoppable finish, but it's a finish with no bonuses. For up till crowd meter, for crowd meter 0, 1, 2.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a foul. I mean, yeah, if your game goes that deep, then yeah, this could be an unstoppable.
In tag team, I think that's going to be a really good card.
Now that's true. This would be better in tag team.
Absolutely.
But again, I mean, you could still botch this all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that my whole point was, I just don't see the cards. I just don't understand. I don't see that having flying it makes a huge.
The final finisher.
Well, let's do the last card that they had out, and then we'll go into the final. The last card that they already spoiled was a entrance card, It's entrance, strong style enforcers. It's called Down River Boys. Once per match, when you have, I think it's supposed to say when you have a follow-up in play and you hit a finish, your opponent discards one random card from them.
Interesting. Where was this card revealed?
I'm not sure exactly when they revealed it. I know if you were to go to the event right now, they had all three of these pictured in under the event. They've actually spoiled the art from all the cards, and then these three were all under the event on Facebook. That's where I got the image from that I'm looking.
So you have to have a follow up in play and hit a finish to make them
Right.
Discard or bury random?
To discard a random.
My thoughts on that are I'm probably not going to use it. For someone who doesn't have $150 champion Kickstarter, I could see them using that probably. Like if you have a deck that, like Hornet would be a cool deck to use that in. It's a discarding deck or a Matt Riddle deck. Decks where there's a lot of discarding in it. Jigsaw, not really, because he already makes people discard random stuff. But I mean, I'm gonna probably stick with my champion at Kickstarter. The only other entrance card that I use, to be honest with you, is Grand Machine. I really like Grand Machine's entrance card just because it's recursion, but not a direct form of recursion where you're getting something back to your hand, unless it's like late game, then you're shuffling 2 cards back into your deck when you really don't have a deck. Your chances of getting that card that you're really looking for is going to be that much more increased.
Right.
But it's just tough with making an entrance card, in my opinion, because 90% of the time, if you own a champion at Kickstarter, you're going to use your champion at Kickstarter just to get a 4th card in your hand and to try to win that first turn roll. However, if you're playing against somebody else who has a champion at Kickstarter, the +1 really doesn't matter.
That may be a challenge. That may be a challenge to try to create an entrance card you think would rival Champion Kickstarter. It almost would have to be a beginning of the game effect.
Yeah, it would have to be a beginning of the game effect. You would have to the only way I could see it being as good and not even as good. It would have to be, in order to make it balance, it would be like start of the match, your first turn roll is +2. You don't even get a draw from it, you just get a +2. Because then, you could start with a 3-card hand, win, and then draw your 4th card. And then you would be on the same footing as someone with a champion of Kickstarter. You would have a 4-card hand and the first turn roll, rather than possibly a 5th card in your hand and winning the turn roll.
Yeah, I know Anthony was concerned about this. If somebody hits a 1%er, playing EC3 and hit a 1%er on you.
Oh yeah.
That this would take the last card that you had in your hand.
Well,
I mean, I can see that, but at the same point, like, you have 1 card.
Yeah. That's just the risk you're gonna have to take, If you're gonna play against EC3, I'm just sure that's gonna happen at some point.
And also, I can't see an EC3 player not playing
champion of Kickstarter. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because,
why wouldn't you want that 7th card in your hand?
Because it's going to let you. I've said before, the thing with EC3 is essentially with Champion of Kickstarter, you burn through a quarter of your deck. First beginning of the game.
Right.
Because you have, and that's a huge advantage early game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially because that gives you basically a 1 in 4 chance of having something like the original EC Splash if you have it. Which we talked a little bit about that too. I encourage, if you have not listened to special episode number 39, please do so. I think we went into quite a bit. So there's also some other stuff that was. Oh, well, of course, last one.
Yes.
Okay, so the last finisher they put out, which we talked about in episode 39, Finish Strike, making its debut as a generic in the game, Shining Wizard.
And this name is the actual name, because I heard that it wasn't going to be it wasn't confirmed.
The image I'm looking at and what they told me was it is called the Shining Wizard.
Yeah, I know that's what it says, but I think Dave Schmidt told me that wasn't confirmed that it was going to be the name, but that was a couple of weeks ago. So if that's cool,
they know on the show they said it is called Shining. That is
cool.
So text on the Shining Wizard is: your power and agility are +1 for each card you have in play with head or knee in the name.
Awesome. Yeah, that. Like we were saying before we went on the air, this card is going to be one of those ones that's going to go in like a gimmicky deck where you're going to have to try to play a lot of head and neck cards just to get a bonus, because there is no direct bonus from it. I don't know that if I play, like I was saying to you, if I play a lead and it doesn't have head or neck, and then I play a follow-up because I won the next turn roll, and my follow-up doesn't have head or neck, and I'm holding Shining Wizard, and I win that next turn roll, I'm probably just going to play it, even if I'm holding a head or neck that like I just drew going into this turn now. I'm not going to hold back on playing it just to play a head or knee card, rather, just to try to win another turn roll to get a +1. I'd rather just try to win the game as fast as possible, and if along the way I end up playing a head or knee card somewhere in there, that'd be great.
Yeah, I would say until there's somebody that basically is built around a head or where you're going to want to pack the deck with head and knee cards.
It would be cool if there was a Poly Pacone that did that with head and knees.
Well, I know Colin Simon keeps pushing that. If get Al Snow in the game and give him a gimmick revolving around cards with head and name.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. If that ever happens, look, if they were able to make inroads at OVW, he I believe is still an owner or part owner of that.
I think he is. Yes.
Maybe we'll see Al Snow.
But you know what I mean, though. Uh-huh. You go through, like Poly Pacone says, when you roll strike, look through your deck for a punch card and put it in your hand.
Yeah.
Shuffle your deck. This would be cool if there was a character who said, look through your deck when you roll such and such, put a head card in your hand.
Yeah,
And then
that would actually go very well. I mean, this is basically like all the ladder cards and table and chair generic finishers.
exactly, yes.
Where basically if you're gonna play it, you're gonna want to make sure you put a good number of cards. Now we were going through because there are a number of cards that have head and to a lesser degree, I think knee in the name.
There are quite a few.
There are quite a few. So I mean, obviously headlock, of course. Most people are playing that. I had mentioned head drop driver.
There's the submission. Submission that's it's kind of like spine buster. What's it called? Knee lock, where you have to have your opponent has two other strikes in play, stop any strike.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's called knee lock. And then there's working the knee.
Yeah, knee to the face is one.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the re-rolls.
Yeah, knee lift is another
one. Our reverse head drop is a great card.
Flying knee strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton. You don't have to list them all, but I think that the likelihood that you have more than two out when you play the card is going to be probably pretty rare. But in any event, it's a decent card. It's just I don't know that it's going to be one that I would pack over somebody else's finisher.
It reminds me of Muertalock, where Muertalock's got that where you get the bonuses if you have lock or arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I've seen that played where you have half a dozen cards out, you still don't have any bonuses off that.
Same thing with Zack Sabre Jr. That's why my Zack Sabre deck, I didn't focus on playing a billion arm cards just to try to play the cross arm breaker because I was never playing it offensively to try to end the game. I would sit on it and wait until someone used it where I could play it as a stop finish.
But so it's just it's a good card. It's nice to have another generic finisher. It's just look, it gives power and agility boosts. So if you have a character that needs power and agility boost, this could help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something you have to build around. But look, I like the idea of doing all generic finishes because that is something we do need in the game. Now at this point we do have us because they were thinking we didn't have 10 total. I was like, no, I think we have about 10 each at this point. I think we have 10 strikes, about 10 strike generic finishes, 10 grapples, 10 submissions.
10 maybe? Yeah. Something like that. You can look it up on the website real quick if you wanted to.
I'm not going to. But I think, because I know in my binder that I've got 9 pocket pages. I've got, I think on all 3 of them, maybe with the exception of the grapple, basically the page is full and then there's maybe 1 or 2 on the side. A lot of them don't see play. Like I don't know who plays Camel Clutch or Figure 4 or
Figure 4. I played that in my my AR Fox deck.
Okay. Figure 4. It's plus 40 submission.
That's fine because plus 4. If you have a 5 for submission, that puts it up to a 9.
It's good that it takes away your botch, but if you can play something, is it better than Sharpshooter? Is it better than Sheepshooter if you can play it?
You wouldn't be able to play Sheepshooter if you're playing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You're right. Sorry. Is it better than Downriver Lock?
I guess it's subjective.
It really is going to be subjective. But yeah,
I would play it depending on the competitor. I still think that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, a lot of these generics, there really is no guaranteed 100%. But there are a couple that are close. I think your Jackknife, Power Bomb, and I think your Sheepshooter are pretty close to being better than. We have a lot of generics, but I don't know if we have a ton that are.
So,
these are all intriguing, and I'm a big fan of Downriver Lock.
A few cards that you were talking to me before we came on the air, I want to talk about.
Yeah, so they spoiled some new leads, a new follow up, and they spoiled a couple new match types, like match stipulation.
Match stipulations, huh?
Yeah, so let's go through these. So we'll start with
Are these official stipulations?
These are official stipulations. They did these on Top of the Universe. They showed the top card on the screen. I want to thank Sean Loeb for grabbing those screenshots and making those available.
You want to send those to me, please?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll copy these.
How many stips are there?
There are 2 new stips, and there are 4 new cards.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll go through the cards first, and then we'll go through the stips. Okay.
No,
So
we'll do it the other way around.
You want to do stipulations first? All right.
Yeah.
So, first stipulation we'll go through is the Liger's Den match.
Okay.
Okay, at the very start, it's no disqualifications, no countouts, and max hand size is 6.
All right.
Yeah. It's a little small on this, but I believe that is 6. So, the opening text is this. Cards in the discard pile have blank text. When a card would be moved from the discard pile to another location, it is instead buried.
Okay.
So, King Greatness would not like that one.
I mean, your flying face buster wouldn't like that either.
No. Flying Face Buster's not going to, Johnny Gargano's not going to like that.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what else the other, but that's the first stop. And then the other one is we've had tables. I don't think we've had ladders officially, have we?
No.
But we
It's
have
not an official ladder match.
We have now an official steel chain.
I'm sure it's pretty much just like the tables match.
It's a little different. So no disqualifications, no countouts, max hand size 10. This is the top card. At the start of the match, before the bell rings, each player searches their deck for one card with steel chain in the name and adds it to their hand.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. When your opponent draws 2 or more cards, you draw 2 cards. When your opponent forces you to bury 2 or more cards in your hand, they bury 2 cards in their hand.
And that's on level 1?
That's on crowd meter basically 0.
0?
Yeah.
I hope that there's more interactions with steel chain as they go up.
I hope so too. I think there will be. And they said the idea behind this was because the idea essentially is sort of 2 players are like connected by the steel chain.
I can see that. That's cool.
It's almost like the Indian strap matches of old.
Yeah. What you do to me gets adversely hit back on you.
Right, so the idea is that when my opponent draws, I draw. When my opponent makes me bury, they bury, because basically when they do something, I have to do it.
Gee, Ariel would hate that match right there.
Oh yeah. This is a total anti-Ariel gimmick.
That would be great. Imagine if you got GM's favor and there's an Ariel and top cut, and you're just like, I gotta get rid of this Ariel. I'm picking steel chain match. Like, see ya. No matter who's playing Ariel, you'd have to imagine they would have the upper hand just by that match type.
Yeah, Ariel would almost have to basically go like, I need a special guest referee of Night Terror to come in and save me.
Right.
So when I'm rolling at 5, I'm not burying 2 cards automatically.
That's cool. I like those.
Yeah, so those are the 2. Let's go through the cards now. I'm going to go through. It's 3 leads and a follow-up, but I want to do follow-up first because the 3 leads are basically the same.
Yep.
So this is a follow-up grapple, number 14. It's called Inside Cradle. It is a stop card.
Number 14?
Number 14.
I thought you said they were 10, 11, and 12.
Those are the leads. This is the follow-up.
Okay.
We're doing the follow-up first.
You didn't tell me that we had a fight. You're surprising me right now.
Okay. Totally surprised. So we're doing the follow-up first. Follow-up grapple number 14, the Inside Cradle. It's a stop card. It says, stop sharpshooter.
This is a skill requirement, isn't it?
This is not a skill requirement.
Okay.
Okay. It says, stop sharpshooter. Shuffle 1 card from your discard pile into your deck. If played as a stop this card, it is also a finish.
That's cute.
So if you didn't have a high grapple or a high
The high
power to
grapple
be
or
able
high power, yeah, you could
to be able
pack
to
that
play
in there.
DDT or Falling Power Slam. You could pack this in there. You're still going to be able to basically. You're always going to be able to play it and shuffle a card from your discard pile into your deck. So that's a static effect.
Oh, those Kentucky people are probably going to hate this card.
Yep, because they're a big sharpshooter.
Big sharpshooter players down south.
So this would be something you could play instead of maybe a rib breaker or a takeover with the table.
It's hard for me to get rid of takeover with the table. I love that card.
Yeah.
I love shuffling 3 cards back in my deck, man. I love it. But
This would let you basically be trading away shuffling 1 for a potential stop finish card.
and you know what? It's different because it triggers a finish, and we've never had a card that triggers a finish in any other slot that's not a finish itself.
That's true. We never have had a card.
So I mean, you know, I don't know how many people put like on the off chance that somebody's packing a sharpshooter. Like, say you go to a 30-person tournament. How many people out of the 30 do you think are going to be packing sharpshooter? Is it worth you,
Is the tournament
not?
in Louisville?
Well, if it is in Louisville, I'm packing it.
I mean, yeah, it depends on who. I mean, depends on who your opponent is. Like I said, I could see if you can't play DDT or Falling Power Slam, that is the card, right? I always forget that one next time. If you can't play one of those two, if you can't play the power or grapple to stop. Sorry, yeah, power or grapple to stop any submission card. Then I could see you maybe throwing this in there instead. Like I said, you would have to give up like a rib breaker or a takeover with the table. But if you don't like those cards, I think this is a viable option. I think you could throw this in as a bit of a risk. It's kind of a risk the same way that like the it's not like it's not
Sorry, my headset came unplugged.
Okay, yeah.
No, I was saying I didn't like this card at first, but you also didn't tell me that, and I didn't know because I didn't watch Talk of the Universe this week. I was disposed, but I didn't know that it triggered a finish roll.
Yeah, it triggers a finish roll. So yeah, it triggers a finish roll. So yeah, I think there could be some good. I think this could see some play.
Oh, it's absolutely going to see some play. There's no doubt.
I definitely think this will see some play. I was trying to think. Gia, I think, has a high submission though, doesn't she? No. Gia's grapple's what, an 8?
Offhand, I don't remember.
I could see this in a G. I know her technique's 10. I can't remember where her submission is, but I could see this maybe if Gia does not have a high. I know she doesn't have a high power. If she doesn't have a high grapple, if it's like 8 or less, I could totally see this in a Gia deck.
I would like it in my Lemmy Adam deck, except Lemmy's got a high grapple. He's got a 10 grapple, so I can't get rid of. My
Yeah, it's hard to get rid of that DDT. Yeah.
And I would play 7 seals in Lemmy Adam. However, he only has a 7 power, so it's not worth playing that just to stop a submission. And I play the flying forearm shot in that deck as well as rope choke. So those are my 2 skill cards in that deck. But that's why I wouldn't play 7 seals. But off topic, yeah, I do like this card. Stopping the sharpshooter and triggering a finish roll as a follow-up that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I hope to see more cards like that in the future, and maybe we can get some more of those cards in the future with this create a card contest.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the create a card contest. So let's go ahead and start in with the next set. These are all leads. I'll go strike, grapple, submission order.
Wait, I thought you said there was a 15 too.
There's no 15.
Okay.
That is it. The 14 is all there is.
Okay. All right.
That is the only follow-up. The next 3 are going to be leads.
Okay.
Okay. This first one is a lead strike number 10. It is a skill card. You must have a +8 strike to play it. Okay?
+8 strike. Yeah. What's it called?
It is called Sucker Punch.
Okay.
All right, it's a stop card. It says, stop, call to the crowd. Draw one card for each lead you have in play.
I do like that card.
I like that card too. I don't know if I like it for one of my 2 skills.
I do, depending on the deck.
Okay.
I think I would take out my flying forearm shot and let me at him to play that. 100%.
Would you take out, I believe it's called Making an Impact, play this? No, wait, that's a 7, isn't it? Never mind.
Yeah, that's a 7, and that's not a
a
skill
7.
requirement card.
Yeah. You're right, that's a 7, yeah. Never mind, that's a 7. That the new impact where you basically don't have I think when your opponent makes you bury, you draw 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So that's cool. Stops the call to the crowd.
Stops call to the crowd, so
And it's similar to the flying forearm shot and the rope choke and the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker in the sense that you get to draw a card for each lead you have,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, and you need to draw a card for so it does count itself. So you will always be able to draw at least you'll be able to draw 1. No matter what happens. So next card, it's the lead grapple number 11, evening up the odds. Also a skill requirement, need 8 or greater grapple to play it.
Yep.
Stop, strength in numbers. Draw 1 card for each lead you have in play.
I would, and so I'm going to guess that the other one's going to stop rolling forearm and do the same thing. What's the other one have an agility requirement?
You are correct. It is a lead submission rolling forearm lock, and you have to it's going to stop rolling forearm. It's a submission skill.
Submission one.
You need.
See, I think out of the 3 of those, the one that's going to get the most play is going to be the one in the number 10 slot, just because I feel like more people probably pack call to the crowd than the other 2. And then the other 2 cards obviously are still fantastic top tier, like S rank cards that are played a lot. You know, some decks people pack all 3 of them in there, but I would say that more often than not, the card that gets the most play out of the 3 of those is call to the crowd.
I think so too, for a couple reasons. Number one, I think call to the crowd was the first one. It was the one that's the most common. Rolling forearm, for the most part, has only been available as a promo card in the starter sets. Yep. Although there is now an alt art version that you can get.
Right.
But here's the thing too. I think now with Making an Impact being a card, people are going to pack at number 7.
You're going to see less.
Rolling forearm.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
that to me means you're probably going to be playing either evening up the odds or sucker punch them to stop the grapple or the submission.
Either way, I really like all 3 of those cards. They're really cool.
All right. I'm still on the fence about if I'd want to give up,
718 or a full Nelson.
718 full Nelson. What's the other one? Yeah, one other one always.
Or if you're playing in a defensive deck, for example, like I was just saying, if you're gonna now pack the card that stops the strength in numbers, you're gonna. Do you want to give up rope choke?
Well, no. Do you want to give up 7 seals? Do you want to give up sheep shooter?
Go just pack a 3rd skill card. It would just be blank.
So you're gonna play a flip.
Playing a legal Nate Wagner special.
Nate Wagner special. Okay, that's at some point that will be a gimmick on your card. You can play.
I think that's just gonna be it. I'm just gonna have my card when it comes out just be like the Immortal Warrior all art.
Yeah, or Victor Brick. Yeah, the flip versions. Yeah.
I'm just gonna have a 3rd skill requirement card.
Yeah, I think that I could totally see that. That would actually be great. That's all the cards they spoiled on Top of the Universe.
That's cool. That's a lot of big stuff right there.
Yeah.
And what seems like it's been a while since there's been a lot of big stuff come out on Talk of the Universe. That's a lot of stuff in 1 week.
Yeah. So they spoiled a lot of stuff. They talked about the event. They announced this contest. We talked about the potential Day of Super show coming up. Next week, I let them know on the previous episode 39. I am going to the DCW Presents Downriver Beatdown.
Very good, very good, very
So
good.
I will be able to that Sunday report on what happened. I'll be
Take some
live in
notes.
person, take some notes. I think that's going to be all we talk about this week. I'm looking forward to Gen Con's coming up, and we're about 3 weeks away, I think, from Gen Con at this point.
3.5 maybe.
I'll see, because 3 weeks from today is the 28th, so 3.5.
Very
3.5
good.
weeks away. There's a lot of cards coming out.
Western Mass might be getting some super show soon.
Yeah.
Got something planned for what
Oh yeah,
feels
that's
like
right.
September.
Did you want to talk? You're going to be running a demo up there in September.
Yeah, Circuit Coffee in Westfield. It's a little coffee shop. Very nice owners. Doing a demo, I believe, sometime in September. They're going to set up a little space for me to demos. Could be cool.
So
They've
hey, if
done,
you're
they've done
any
game nights
Eastern
there
or
before.
cool, so any Eastern or Western Mass players, if you guys want to come out and help support them,
Yeah, that would be really neat.
film the community, come
Get
out.
the East and South Side Mass players to come out and show some support. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Thank you to everybody who helped me out with my situation last week with the hotel.
You got that taken care of?
I'm good to go. I've got some roommates. But if tell you what, if you are stuck, send me information. I'll see what I can do. I don't know if I can do much, but
Michael Kirk always lending a hand in need.
I'm willing to. I've already got one person who may possibly be crashing briefly. I may be able to get some.
Did you warn them about your snoring?
I think I warned people on the air about the storm, and you of course didn't have my back. You're just like, yeah, he's the worst.
We've shared bed quarters before, and
That's right. Bring your hearing protection.
yeah, the one thing that makes me laugh the most is that Everett Stevens claims he's a light sleeper, but throughout the grand gathering, that kid slept like a rock. Through you and Joe Ritchie both snoring like chainsaws, it was insane. The kid didn't wake for nothing. You could have stabbed him in the throat and he wouldn't have woke up.
All right. All right, let me give the rundown. Oh no, we're forgetting something. Hold on.
Hold up, wait.
There was one other thing I need to bring up, and then we're done. So give me just a minute. Sorry about that. So one of the things that happened last week, or last few days, where there were a few sales related to the July 4th that SRG put out. They did the little deck of the week sale. They did some like order some cards, get a special promo card, and they did one where if you ordered a couple competitors, you would get a Kobe the Kid competitor set free with 2 competitors. But I said, look, if you don't want to wait to get your hands on a Kobe Gulo set, there's already a Gulo set out, a Justin Gulo set, the backpack.
I
So
thought Kobe's set was already out on the.
Is it
Like, I thought you could
available
already
for
buy it.
sale? I didn't think you could buy it. Anyway, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. My apologies to Kobe. But but I saw Kobe's doing it special. I'm like, look, Kobe gets a lot of run, but let's give Justin some run. He's got his own competitors every show. Backpack Man came out. You want to talk about that? You ready to talk about Backpack Man, Nate? I don't know if you've seen the Backpack Man or not. He's a man with a backpack. Are you ready? And I apologize to Kobe if I for some reason I was thinking he's spoiled it, but it hadn't come out yet.
No.
But you think it came out?
Kobe's card?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost certain it's on the website.
Now.
It got revealed or previewed or something before Origins. I swear. Are you there? Or did I lag out again?
I am here. I'm looking up to see if Kobe's card is available. Going to the SRG competitor set, scrolling through. Get about halfway down. K's. Nope. Kid Fresh, 5 Kings, and then LED. So So no, it's not currently available. But Justin's is available. So, Backpack Man, Power 8, Technique 10, Agility 5, Strike 9, Submission 6, Grapple 7. The gimmick is when you roll agility for your turn roll, look at your opponent's hand, choose one stop, bury it.
That's cool. That's cool beans, man.
Yes, this is very much like an anti-Gia, anti-stop deck.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So, which by the way, congratulations to Gia for getting 500 out of 1,000. We got 500 more to go.
Congratulations.
Yeah, 500 more to go. So, finishes. Finish Strike. The Jack-O-Lantern. It is a spotlight finish. +3 to agility, +1 to strike. It makes agility an 8 and strike a 10. When this card is in your discard pile and your opponent hits a finish, add 1 card from your discard pile to your hand.
I like it.
Yeah. So this can, I'm assuming it can add itself because it doesn't say add 1 other card. But you can add any other finish. You could add stops. You could add, plenty of things. I like that card a lot. So, finish grapple, all hallows E. +2 to agility, +1 to submission, +1 to grapple. That makes your submission a 7, your grapple an 8, and your agility a 7. So it gives you basically 2 7s, 2 8s, a 9, and a 10. That's nice.
It is.
If you have 2 cards in your if you have 2 finish cards in your discard pile, add +1 to these bonuses. That's really good.
Very strong.
Yeah, because now you've got 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10. That's really nice. And the last one, finish submission, trick or treat, +2 to submission, +2 to agility. That basically takes away your botches, makes yours 5 and 7, and your 6 and 8. When your opponent rolls a breakout roll. Okay. Yeah. When your opponent rolls a breakout roll, draw 1 card or bury 1 card in any player's discard pile. So you'll be able to. So potentially you could draw 3 cards off this, bury 3 cards, or any combination of that. Draw 2, bury 1. Draw 1, bury 2.
Yeah, that's why I like this card. It's very versatile. It depends on the situation what you can do with it.
Yeah, I like this. I like this competitor a lot. So I let Justin know we were going to talk about it, and because Justin, so Justin, there's your creation. There's the backpack.
Shout out to the Bum family down there.
That's right. And that is going to be it for me. Was there anything you wanted to bring up?
No, that's it for me, man.
All right, let me run through the list, and we are good to go. So, start with the big one. DCW presents Downriver Beatdown next Saturday, July 13th, 1 p.m. in Monroe, Michigan at Our House Gaming.
And they all got the details already on episode 39. If you didn't already, go listen to that episode, and you can learn all about it.
Yeah. We got Rust Belt Championship and North Olmsted at Recess Games. They play Monday nights at 6. City of Champions Wrestling plays at Hopewell, Pennsylvania in Titan Game Shop. They're playing Sundays, usually around noon or 1 p.m. LFF New York has changed their name to LFF Tri-State. They're still playing at a store of Fire and Dice in Lynbrook in New York, but instead of Tuesdays and Fridays, it's now Thursdays and Fridays at 7 p.m.
Doing big things out there in the wannabe Tri-State.
That's right. Steve, still currently the Tri-State champion, I believe. Steve Rez, shout out to the boss. My own local promotion, Buckeye Championship Wrestling, where we play at the Guard Tower in Columbus, Ohio, 6 p.m. on Saturdays. That is still the plan going forward. We got bumped last night for Magic.
Yeah, I saw something about Orc something, or that's where you guys will possibly play. Orc?
Yeah, there's a store that's relatively close to there called Orcs Forge Gaming that we've played at a couple. This will be the second time we played at there, so thanks to them for hosting us kind of last minute because Colin didn't know about the Magic till I sent him a message Friday night because I didn't find out about it till Friday night. All right, back to a little bit of business here. True American Heroes plays at Frontline Games in Clarksville, Tennessee. They're usually playing Saturdays at 6 p.m. Florida Cardboard Wrestling plays at House Rules Gaming in Kissimmee, Florida. Michigan Wrestling Alliance plays at Fun for All Comics and Games in Ypsilanti, Michigan. There's a Super Show at Destiny Games in Westland, Michigan. They play Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. There's a group called Fanfare that plays at Fanfare Comics in Kalamazoo, Michigan. They usually play the second or fourth Sunday from noon to 2. Sin City Wrestling, the home of Eddie Fury, Alien Invader, Salty Sailor, and many others. They played Atomic Trading in Las Vegas, Nevada. They're now playing Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. They have been playing Fridays for a while. They're now playing Wednesday nights. Wizards Card Championship Wrestling plays at Wizards Asylum Comics and Games in Norman, Oklahoma. They usually play at noon on Sundays, give or take. So look for them Sundays out there. We have a few last bowl, and we'll close it out with some of the some places you can play in Nate's home state of Massachusetts.
Nate's home state.
That's
Ain't
right.
it great?
Folks. So those places are as follows. At New England Comics in New Bedford, Massachusetts, they play twice a week. Wednesday from 3 to 6 in the afternoon, and Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's gaming going on at Tabletop Games in Westport, Massachusetts, Tuesdays from 3:30 to 6. And at Game King in Fall River, Massachusetts, they are playing Sundays 5 to 9 p.m. tentatively. All right, and that will do it for the show. Any closing words or thoughts from you, from the chef of the LFF?
Nope, nothing really. Just, my normal sign off. Hope you all have a great week and you eat good and you roll better.
All right, thanks, folks. For Nate, this is Michael Kirk. Thank you, and good day.